For a great cup of joe, there's one thing you should know. Your morning brew can also be playful. Buff Boy Brewing guys make the temperature rise, and you surely feel naughty when you swallow our coffee. If you want some real heat, give your mouth a fine treat. You will want some more, rest assured. Buff Boy Brewing, you can't get enough of.
It's time for The Scribble, your weekly fix of celebrity chats, bizarre stories in the news, and basic random chatter with best-selling author and syndicated radio host Jeremy Bradley. Make sure your seat is in the upright and locked position and your barf bag is securely in place. Here's Jeremy Bradley.
Thank you very much, Larson. Jeremy Bradley here. This is The Scribble. Thank you for tuning in for 30 minutes of time-wasting fun. Now, this is a show that you listen to, but what about what you watch? Whether it's on TV, on a streaming service, on your phone, whatever it is, are you finding that as you get older, your viewing habits are maturing? Are your TV habits maturing with age? Are you finding that maybe I need a bit more civilized kind of stuff to watch? I'm going to tell you about how I've sort of realized a pattern of change in what I watch. You know, back in the day, I liked, funny things, and then I kind of liked serious sort of documentaries. I wanted to maybe learn something, and then I wanted to just laugh again because the world is so crazy that I needed an escape to laugh. So have you changed over the years? Or do you maybe just jump on a trend that you start to watch something that everybody else does? Or have you all of a sudden just had a recommendation on YouTube pop up, and you're kind of like, all right, I'll watch it, and then you're just hooked, and you watch video after video after video? It's happened to me. I'll tell you about that coming up in just a bit. And also, porn. Let's talk porn. That'll be the first segment. You definitely want to stick around for that. It's on The Scribble, and it starts right after this.
Isn't it crazy that you wait for payday, but before you know it, you're strapped for cash again? It's time to stop blowing your money and become a smart spender with the book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com. Learn simple ways to cut costs at home every day and during special times of the year. Don't go broke at Christmas. Don't remortgage the house for a fancy vacation. The book is filled with tips to save you money throughout the year. Check out the best-selling book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com or on Amazon and iTunes.
Jeremy Bradley here, back on The Scribble. All right, this segment, I'm going to be talking to the porn watchers, okay? I'm just going to be upfront. I'm just telling this. That's what we're talking about in this segment. And whether you watch porn or you don't, I think it's going to be an interesting dialogue. So stick with me here, okay? Now, I'm not going to lie to you as well. When I was a teenage boy, of course I watched porn. I mean, once we got a computer and once, you had privacy, that was the thing growing up. Here we go. Is it oversharing, or is it something you're going to relate to? I mean, especially for teenage boys. I mean, you're kind of waiting for when the coast is clear. For me, I had two older brothers that lived downstairs. My bedroom was on the main floor, kind of where all the action was in terms of like the kitchen, the living room, bathroom. So for me, I was kind of right near everybody all the time, pretty daring to, whip it out and start to go to town. Because in our house, it was, your door could fly open at any second. There was no knocking. The door would just open. And then once my brothers moved out and I inherited their bedroom downstairs, you had a bit of a warning because the light would go on in the rec room. So you knew my parents were coming down the stairs, or, you heard them coming, and you had time to, pull up your pants or whatever. But then, of course, when the internet came around, and that was your first sort of, you go to a website, and you always had that risk of, when I click the X, you always had the cursor kind of above the X, so that if somebody came right away, you could just hit the X. But then there was that fear of it's not going to close right away and somebody's going to see it. And so I was laughing about that the other day, because you think about the movie American Pie, or just, any sort of movie that's got sort of that funny masturbation scene or a sex scene even. And I just remember thinking of all those times going, oh, I hope everybody's going out this weekend. I hope everybody's going out. I'm going to have the house to myself. When can I just do it? Then when you get your own place, it's like, well, I can do it whenever I want to. But one of the things that I remember when I did watch, and I'm going to be honest with you, I don't watch it. I have an amazing husband. I've got a fitness model, Brazilian, ripped, muscled, tan, tattooed husband. We're not watching porn in our house. So But I'm interested to know because, we've been in a relationship for a very long time. I'm not going to say that I did not watch porn before he came around, but obviously, I was in my early 30s and I was focused on my career and things like that. I wasn't making sex or anything like that a priority, period. So now, as I'm in my 40s, happily married, I'm interested to know what like the trends are when it comes to porn watching. And here's what I'm getting at. When I was at my parents' house, I had a thing for guys in tight swimwear. That was kind of my thing, right? So I would be searching for that. That was something that I always kind of liked. And that's the stuff that I would watch. I never liked seeing, though, this is what's interesting. I never liked seeing, how do I say it? I never liked seeing the penetration part. That always sort of creeped me out. I don't know why. I think I just didn't like the close-up of it. And then, when you're a virgin at that point, it looks painful, right? Because you're just kind of like, ooh, I don't know how. So that always sort of creeped me out, seeing that part. I always just sort of liked the reveal. I actually liked the first part of it. So not necessarily the story and the bad acting, but so if we're going with that, setting the scene of like a swimwear thing, so they would be, in the pool or whatever it would be. I liked the part where he was, coming out of the pool and then approaching the pool boy or whatever it was. And the slowly pulling down of the, like, I just liked the reveal. And then, maybe the first couple bits of the, sexual interaction, the touching of the, parts downstairs. But yeah, when it actually got to like the insertion or whatever, I kind of just didn't, I don't know. Maybe I was also just finished before it got to that point. I don't know. But it was really strange because I just sort of liked almost like the stripping aspect of it, I guess, perhaps. And the anticipation of, okay, I see, you can see through the outlines of, things in the swimsuit. And then, so it's left little to the imagination. And then there's the reveal and then it pops out or whatever. So I like that kind of thing. But my point is that I knew what I wanted to see. I knew what I liked. And so I guess now with search engines or whatever, or the search feature on websites, which were around back then, I'm not saying they weren't, I'm wondering though what people type in. Like if you're Googling something, if I'm looking for, I'm typing in what is the average temperature in Florida in November. So when you're searching on porn, are you typing that in? Like, woman fucks pizza delivery guy. Like, are you being that specific when you're searching porn? I want to know what people do now. So we were looking at, this is what's funny, is because with our job at the office, we can bring up porn, and we actually have had conversations about internet porn or whatever. And they showed me a clip of I don't know what you'd call it now. Like, it almost seems like it's a legit movie, but there are very hardcore scenes in it. So it's more, I don't know how to describe it. It's not like the porn where there's like the cheesy, tacky music or whatever, but there's a story and there's full on sex scenes. So is that considered porn? I mean, I guess it is because you're watching people have sex, but porn in the sense of or is it a sex scene in a regular movie, right? Porn is different because or is it different? Maybe that's the bigger discussion here. I don't know. But anyway, so they put on this clip of, I guess they were like two military guys. And again, we're not talking about just like the tacky, it's not military uniform, it's like a Halloween costume. No, it seemed like they were actually playing. So they fast forwarded to the part, and so that we get to the sex scene. And it was really funny because I don't remember the name, so I'm just going to make this up. But obviously they're not their real names, right? Oh, Brody. Oh, yeah. Oh, Randall. And I had to sort of giggle because it was very laughable to me. Because even the way that it was said, oh, Brody. Oh, yeah. Oh, Brody, that feels so good. It's just, you just know that's not the name. And so I laughed about it. I wasn't, and I mean, how aroused can you get when you're in a meeting room with your coworkers and there's porn on the screen, right? So it certainly wasn't like we were doing a big circle jerk, but and because half of our staff is women, so we wouldn't do that anyway. But anyway, it was very funny because, porn movies aren't necessarily known for their great acting, but it was just interesting to see what was a legitimate movie. Like I said, these guys were kind of dressed in like European sort of military garb, and the acting was, decent-ish, but then you get to that scene and, oh, Brody, keep going, Brody. Oh, Brody, that feels like God. And it's like, dude, there's just something creepy because it's also just like a typical porn name too, right? Oh, Matthew. No, you're not saying. You're gonna go and say, oh, Maddie, baby. Oh, yeah, baby, yeah, go. But to say the name like that. My husband's name is Charles. I don't think I've ever gone, oh, Charles. Oh, yes, Charles. Like, it's just not. Watch, they're gonna end up taking that as a soundbite and they're gonna use that as a clip somewhere. They're gonna have me moaning, my husband's name, which I don't know. Not that I've ever, audio recorded and listened to the soundtrack of my sex life, but it just seemed so. I also just don't like when people say my name in any scenario. I don't know. I don't like it. If you're talking to me face to face and we're having a conversation, it's very weird for me to be going and saying, okay, yeah, but come on, Jeremy. I don't know. It's just weird to hear it. I don't do it. I'm not talking to somebody, like for instance, our producer Bonnie. I could be sitting and talking either on the phone with her or we'll be at lunch, we'll be talking. I don't just feel that need to randomly say her name because she knows I'm talking to her. Because we're looking at each other, right? We're on the phone with each other. We're talking to each other. So I've always found that to be strange anyway. I don't like when people say my name. I know that you know my name. We're good. So it catches me off guard. I don't know why. It's just one of those weird things that I have. Yeah. So let's recap the discussion here. Do you watch porn? How do you search for it? What do you think of your name being called out? These are discussions you will not get anywhere else. I mean, you might, but then quickly turn it off. But so I'm going to talk a little bit more about viewing habits when we come back on the Scribble right after this.
Ever had something to get off your chest but never had the balls to say it? That's a load of crap. Speak Free with JB.com is exactly what you've been waiting for. Your chance to tell it like it is and not care what anybody else thinks. Have your say on issues of the day. Join newspaper and radio columnist Jeremy Bradley as he tells it like it is. Hundreds of thousands of people have stopped by, including some well-known celebrities who have had a chat with JB and speak candidly about what's really going on in the world. You can join them too. Have a rant or a rave. Be brave and head on over to www.speakfreewithjb.com now.
It's never too early to start thinking about your next holiday. Have you checked out Mexico recently? From tequila tasting, swimming with horses, to ziplining through the jungle and watching whales and dolphins in their natural habitat, Puerto Vallarta has it all. Visit mexico.jbonair.com to see all the fun PV has to offer. That's at mexico.jbonair.com for hundreds of photos, interviews, and videos from around the tourist hotspot. Check out mexico.jbonair.com for all the fun. That's mexico.jbonair.com.
JB here, back on the Scribble. So let's shift from your porn viewing habits to just your random internet viewing. Something that I spend a lot of hours in the bathtub. So I have clocked, I don't know how many YouTube hours. And I mean, YouTube is a great place because not only can it read your mind after you've searched for a couple of things, but I think it's doing a better job at finding, related or similar things to what you have viewed before, right? Or what you've just watched moments ago. And I don't remember how it started on my phone. I mean, I have a TV in my bathroom now. But so I don't remember how it started for me to be watching these videos of abandoned places. And again, don't know what I had watched first that then brought up the rest of the matches. But you know what? I do look at that. Just as I'm telling it, I remember exactly what it was. We had, there was a water park north of the city where I grew up. And in Winnipeg, there's not a very long outdoor water season. Like, it's summer isn't very long. And so I think it was a changing of the times with the seasons. The weather was bad, the upkeep, it was not in a very ideal location for people. This water park eventually folded. And so I had only thought about it when I had gone with one of our producers, Suzanne. We got together one weekend. We were going for dinner. Well, we ended up we were doing a road trip basically. We ended up going for dinner nearby where this water park was. And I knew that it had closed, but I didn't realize that they had taken it down. Now, Suzanne is not originally from my city, so she had never heard of this place. She didn't know what I was talking about. And I said, no, there's the 4 slides. Like, I remember seeing it, 2 on one side, 2 on the other. They crisscrossed. It was just big. You could see it. I mean, we all went there as kids in school. Like, you knew that it was like, there it is. Right? It's like when you get to an amusement park or something and you see the roller coaster. I mean, there were the 4 water slides. This was the place. They had it was like bumper cars and like little water boat kind of a things. You didn't, who cared? You were going there for the water slide. And so as we were going for dinner, and I said, I think that this is where it was. Because again, I was a kid. I didn't know exactly where, but I kind of had an idea. And so we're going, we round the corner and I was like, I swear it was here. I swear. So then I Googled it as we were going, and sure enough, they had demolished it, years earlier. Well, then, when you type in the name of the place, whatever, obviously then it finds some YouTube matches or, whatever it is. So when we got to the restaurant, I pulled up the video and it was just such an eerie kind of, so what somebody had done was they had gone with a drone and they flew over top. So this was obviously before it was demolished. It was abandoned, right? It was just, and they'd gone through into like the concession stand, into the change rooms where there was the water. Is it called a water boat? Do you know what I'm talking about? Like those rubber kind of like little motorized boats and you kind of bump into each other and you splash each other. It was like bumper cars, but in like a water, a pool kind of a thing. And so the water was all green, it was just, it had closed, 10 years earlier or something. And it was eerie because they had added in sort of spooky music to it. And I watched it. Now, again, this video means nothing to Suzanne, because she didn't know the place. It was just like, all right, I'm just watching, like, is this a horror movie? What is this? And it was fascinating to me because it related to my childhood. It was somewhere I'd gone. I didn't know that this place was demolished. And then I see it all run down and kind of, and after that, we had our day together, whatever, and then I got home. And so then that's when I was in the bathtub or whatever, and it just started popping up other related videos like this. And I didn't realize how many people were out there making videos of, like, tours, I guess would be the term, of abandoned buildings. Usually it's like malls, right? Usually it's malls or a hotel, some kind of a big hospital. And I can't remember the name of I've got it bookmarked on my TV but it's whatever. It's these 2 guys that kind of just go around. They have their backpacks and I guess they're essentially trespassing, really is what it is. They're not breaking into. They're just, I mean, if the door is open of the place, okay, fine. But at the same time, if it's all chained off or, fenced off, are you really supposed to be going in there? But their videos are fascinating. It's like 20 minutes that they approach the place, right? They'll kind of give you the sort of biography or the description of the place, and maybe they'll show some archived like photos back in the heyday, so they'll cut in some of those. But it starts right at the beginning, the approach. Oh, you get the preview of what you're going to see, but they basically walk up narrating or talking to each other as they go. And I have watched, I don't even know, like, I mean, they've got dozens of videos, if not a couple hundred. And I really like the mall ones for some reason. I don't know. There's just something fascinating. And again, I think I'm from a generation where the mall sort of has a different meaning or memory to me than it would to, like, let's say today's youth or today's generation. And as it would differently between my mom and me. My mom worked at Sears for, I don't even know, 20 something years at least when I was a kid and growing up, even before I was born. And that was just a memory that we have for our family, was because she worked in the children's wear department. She would always come home with clothes. My brothers and I were in the Sears fashion shows all the time as kids. So the mall was just a different sort of a concept. It was an experience even. It just was. And now these videos where the people are going in, and again, I can't say that I condone breaking and entering and trespassing, but they're fascinating to watch. I could watch it forever because you just see like these run. I mean, they're sad, right? Because people have lost jobs or, it's hurt the economy. But I really enjoy watching them. And so my point of this whole story is, do you kind of go through a kick where you're just fascinated with watching certain types of videos? I realized probably about 10 years ago that I really enjoyed watching documentaries. I kind of wanted to either learn stuff or just sort of be taken on a story, whether it's like a biography of somebody or whether it's, like I said, a documentary. I kind of want to sit down for 1 hour or however long it's going to be and be told the story from, give me a timeline, sort of give me a history of things. And I went through a kick where I was watching all those kinds of things. I mean, and then years ago I went through watching all of those, like the murder, like Dateline, those kinds of shows. But then I just sort of feel like murder is not okay in real life, but these shows are profiting from murder. So it's almost kind of like, if people weren't killed in very horrific, gruesome ways, would Dateline exist, right? I mean, yes, they do other stories from time to time, but I mean, 90 to 95% of a Dateline episode from the NBC lineup is a murder story, right? It is. 48 Hours, same thing. And then I've recently gone onto a kick where I enjoy like the A&E shows, Customer Wars, Road Wars, I think is the other one, Court Cam, kind of the captured footage from cell phones or security camera thing. I really enjoy watching, this is the LA side of me now, the car chases, the police car chases, that when I get a notification, you have to remember that my time is split between Los Angeles or West Hollywood and Winnipeg. So we obviously watch local programming a little bit more when we're in California. But when we get the notification on the phone that there's a police chase, I mean, we put it on, whether it's on our phone. We were actually just at a restaurant here in Winnipeg. We were just at a restaurant a couple days ago. I was there with my husband, and all of a sudden there was a notification that there was a police chase. So we ended up we opened up the web browser or whatever on my phone, the streaming anyway, from the local TV channel. We basically watched a police chase in a restaurant. It was quite funny. And I had said that they need to do, whether it's a live, like 24-hour news channel, because in Los Angeles, I mean, these police chases can go an hour or two. I mean, I wonder if you could program a 24-hour channel. I wonder if that would work. I mean, but that's the thing, though, is that now you're condoning but at the same time, I mean, isn't Dateline condoning murder? It's like, well, that's all we showcase every week. We're glorifying it almost in a sense. We're either paying these families to relive the tragedy or, so I thought about that. I was wondering if you could just all of a sudden get the feed from the local, LA station or Florida. They tend to happen a lot in, and just do that. Or even if it's just archival, maybe you could just license that this one is already, the chase happened, a week ago. That it played out for an hour and 40 minutes. Well, there you go. So now you can show it on a TV station, next week or tomorrow or something. I did see a commercial, however, that there is I believe it's called Car Chase. Is that what it's called? Nobody knows, of course. I'm asking a room and they're not even listening to what I'm saying. But I believe there's a show now just called Car Chase where it summarizes. Because here's the thing, if you go onto YouTube and you see that the clip isn't, or the video is an hour and 40 minutes, I mean, unless it's really crazy where there's like fires and side swipes and whatever, then you almost want to jump to like the last 5 minutes of it just because that's where the action is. That's what it's sort of like a porno. Are you going to sit and watch the entire 20-minute scene, or are you just going to get to the good stuff that's going to help you finish and then you can be on your way? Maybe that's another way to look at things. So it's interesting how you kind of go through these waves of what you find entertaining or what you want to watch, and then what you just have no interest for. I mean, I loved the classic sitcom back in the day, and now I don't like the one camera situation comedy. I think it was maybe The Office or 30 Rock. What was the first one that kind of didn't do like the 3 or 4 camera format? with a live studio audience, and they kind of just, I didn't really like those kinds of sitcoms. I don't know. But certainly documentaries, and then, like I said, the YouTube surfing, where it was going through these abandoned places, and also just sort of hearing the history and looking back, and there's something that's fascinating about that. And same thing with a water park. I love a water slide. Don't get me wrong. We've actually, a little sidetrack to the story. When we would do tourism programming, or when I was producing a podcast for a company several years ago, I would fly to different cities and we would record a show there. And I wasn't staying overnight in the city. I would fly there for the day. So let's say Toronto. I would fly to Toronto for the day. I'd record the podcast for this company, and then I would fly back that night. Well, the audio producer of the podcast, he would spend a bit more time because he worked for that company. So he ended up doing some work in their office there. And he would be booking the hotel, and I would say to him, and again, this is not somebody that, he's not my coworker, he's not my friend, I just would team up with him every 2 weeks to record a podcast. I'd said to him, can you book a hotel with a water slide? And he's like, why? Who cares? I said, well, because what's going to happen is we're going to tape the podcast, we go back to the hotel, he, has a nap or whatever, and he would go on Tinder and look for girls. That's what he would do. But I would go to the pool or to the water slide in the hotel, just because I had a few hours to kill before my flight. And I've always loved a water slide. I even wanted to create a website years ago about, what did I call it? Water slide rater. But it was just so hard to say, where I would just go around to different water slides and rate the water parks at hotels. And I thought there probably is something already doing that, but I thought like you could go real full like journalistic. Like, yeah, I could give the statistics of like how long it is, what's the fastest you go on it. I can upload video, I can record videos while I'm going down it. I can, sort of give it a full-on review. And you'd look at that and go, it's a fucking 17-second water slide. Like, who cares? But there probably are water slide connoisseurs, would that be the term? Water slide aficionados? I don't know. But so when it comes to those videos, back to the abandoned videos thing, or abandoned buildings, I always really liked watching the ones of either water parks or amusement parks or malls. Not so much hospitals, or because there was one that they would like be in an insane asylum, or an abandoned church or a school. I don't really, whatever. Or the abandoned prison. Those always just seemed too dark for me. I didn't want that. But a good old mall where you're like, wow, that's 90s decor entirely. Like that's. You might have the neon sort of laser lights that are, or the food court and just kind of looking at things, or the movie theater. Like, what was the movie that was playing the week that this place closed? I mean, those are always really interesting to kind of see. And something that I thought that these guys would do, and I think that they don't because that would be crossing the line, but I always thought that if I would be going and doing things like that, like I would take a souvenir from each place. You could go and say, well, stealing is wrong. Well, so is breaking and entering and trespassing, right? I mean, really, and that's also another thing too that I really enjoy about these videos. Like I said, I'm not condoning breaking the law. Let me say that one more time before people freak out. But it's fascinating because they'll like hear somebody else across the way, or they'll be dodging security, or somebody will drive, a security van will drive by and they see it, or they hear somebody and they're kind of hiding. There's sort of that anticipation, like, are we going to get caught? Are we going to get arrested? And there's that fear. And that's something I like about those videos too. Or there was one time where they actually ran into other people doing the same sort of a thing, and I thought that's kind of funny. You got like a crossover. That's where you just need to throw down and be like, bitch, we got here first, and we're going to upload ours before yours, and have this big old scrap. And then the security will come in and be like, what's going on? We were breaking in, we were making a video, but we were here first. We broke in first. Yeah, there you go. All right, so tell me about your weird viewing habits. Do you ever just kind of go down that rabbit hole and you spend 3 hours going, I have a brand new kind of hobby that I like watching. This is the kind of video I like watching on YouTube. Thank you, YouTube, for distracting me and totally taking me off track of what I was supposed to be doing for the past 3 hours. You know what's happened to you. Don't even lie. Don't even lie to me. Send me an email, live@jbonair.com, live@jbonair.com.
Who are the Kardashians feuding with now? What did that little thug Justin Bieber do this time? Who's getting hitched? And who's headed for Splitsville? Hear the latest celebrity news and gossip every day on Entertainment Wrap-Up. The good, the bad, the ugly, but mostly the ridiculously hilarious. It's all recapped in this daily segment at entertainmentwrapup.com. Have a laugh at the expense of the rich and famous when they take themselves way too seriously. It's 3 minutes of time-wasting fun at entertainmentwrapup.com. Check out Entertainment Wrap Up at entertainmentwrapup.com. Brought to you by Speak Free Books.
We hear you chirping. Get scribbling. Tweet up the Scribble at The Scribble Show. Join the discussion with Jeremy Bradley. It's all going down right now on Twitter at The Scribble Show and at thescribbleshow.com.
Jeremy Bradley here. This is The Scribble. We're out of time, so I will talk to you same time, same place next week. Feel free to email live@jbonair.com. Talk to you next week. Bye-bye for now.
Want more Scribble? Check out thescribbleshow.com for past shows, celebrity interviews, cheapskate tips, and more. That's at thescribbleshow.com and on Twitter at The Scribble Show. The Scribble is a Speak Free media presentation.
If you want some